Hi, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. Today, I'm doing a video on the power of transformation through active listening and manifesting your true presence. And I got this idea because I just finished reading a book called Fair by Thich Nhat Hanh and a book I'm reading by Jack Kornfield called No Time Like the Present, and one of the episodes in the Midnight Gospel on Netflix with Trudy Goodman. And they all seem to be talking about, and especially Trudy and Thich Nhat Hanh, this active listening piece. And what it means, and what I realized is that when we're around people, we don't really have to say too much to hold their pain and their suffering and whatever they're going through. Most of the time, people just need to be heard and loved and able to express what they fully are. And this sounds simple, this active listening technique, but it requires one to be extremely present, because if your mind's going to the past or the future or thinking of what you have to say or even thinking you have to fix this person, you're missing out on the jewel. And the jewel and the real transformation is allowing the space to be saturated with loving awareness. And that's why doing spiritual practice is so important, because it brings you to a place of more calm and more centeredness in your being, and it quiets your mind and opens your heart to an extent where you can be present with others. And then their pain and suffering is naturally transformed through your presence. And Thich Nhat Hanh talks about you owe people to manifest your true presence, to manifest your deepest soul nature when you're in conversation with another. Because there's many times where we can live very surface level and you're just get this interaction out of the way and listen to this person and talk a little bit. But can you manifest your true presence? And an example of thinking of how to do that is think of the times when you're most connected to your soul, when you're very clear and loving and present and available for another person or for a task, or when a book or a meditation or a song gets you into that space. Manifesting that space when it's called upon you all the time in relationships with other people. Letting people be heard and feel heard without judgment, and then just holding them in that space of loving awareness. And that will do so much more to transform yours and another's suffering than what you think you can do by maybe interjecting in a conversation or by what your words alone can do. Because the words are very powerful when they come out of the presence. But if they don't come out of the presence, then they're not, if they don't carry that energy current. So two people can say the same exact thing, and it could have a vast impact on somebody, or it could have no impact on somebody. So what I've been working on is whenever I'm with somebody, and in the line of work I do with people in recovery or whatever interactions I have with being sharing something, I work on manifesting my true presence, not holding back because of my ego or fear or just keeping things at a surface level with my responses or just with my manifestation. I become who my energy truly is to the deepest degree that I can access in order to be of service to that person. And in your heart, you say, how can I serve you? And when you interact in this way, you'll notice miraculously how people feel when they talk to you. You'll notice that the universe will bring much more people into your life to open up with you, to share these things, because it knows that you're going to be a conduit it can use to heal suffering. It knows that you're going to be available. And to finish, I want to reiterate, like I said in the middle, a practice is so important, because it's easy to say, yes, I'm going to listen to somebody. Yes, I'm going to send them loving energy. Yes, I'm going to manifest my true soul essence. But it's much more difficult to do that if you don't work on that on a daily basis. Where if you do, it's more easy to get into that space, especially when somebody's spirit calls upon that from you, even if they're not consciously saying it. So it's important to have a practice that one does regularly so it can keep bringing you back to that space of love, bringing you back to that space of presence. So that active listening is much deeper than a surface level thing you would maybe hear at your work training. We got to work on active listening. It's really true. There's a huge ability to transform that, and that's what most people need and want, is just somebody to listen to them, to be with them, for them to feel heard. So there's no time like the present to put that into practice. And that's a way that we grow as a collective. That's a way that we move beyond fear. That listening and that manifesting of love and presence not only helps the other person, it helps you on your journey as well. So there's no way that we ever help somebody without helping ourselves. It works both ways because we're together and we're one being ultimately.